Welcome to the TSG Multimedia podcast for December 2018. We're sponsored in part this month by Podomatic and, of course, the TSG Train Crew on Patreon. Thank you so much. November was much lower key than pretty much the rest of the year, but you know me, I can't say no to anything. So to give you some idea about what to expect in the coming months, I'll let you know what I've been up to. I have a couple things to mention before that, though. So I ran a poll on the YouTube channel after I was asked by a few viewers if I was partaking in the whole Black Friday sale frenzy. Now, I don't really believe in commercializing holidays personally, so I ran the poll to find out if it was something that a lot of people wanted. Sure enough, it was overwhelming, and almost 90% of the people responding with a yes answer. If I remember right, it was 88% yes, 6% no, and 6% other. Oh, speaking of other, did you see the branded clothing being offered under the video screen on YouTube these days? I designed a few different things for people who like to show off what they like by wearing it. There's shirts, mugs, phone cases, and some other items with the Chasing Trains logo, and then I also put up shirt designs that simply say other with a checked off box next to it, kind of like the polls. If you see these things on your screen while you're watching the video today, click on one to see if it's something you might like. Now, back to what I started off talking about, the Holiday Frenzy sale. So yeah, after getting the feedback from everyone, I posted a coupon code for 25% off anything on the TSG Multimedia website. That's where all the commercially released DVDs, Blu-rays, and digital downloads are. And in case you don't already know, TSG Multimedia has been around since 1998. And in 2005, I started working on train-related stuff. So there's about 30 commercial releases on the site. And the code for the discount is THANKS2018. So if you go to tsgmultimedia.com and fill up your little cart, then enter THANKS2018 during the checkout process, the discount will be applied to the entire order. If you've been in the market for these things, it's a good time to take advantage. I don't think I'll run another sale like this until the channel reaches 25,000 subscribers. And there's all kinds of prototype and modeling train videos on the website, so take a minute to check it out. The code will work up through the end of 2018, and it's my way of thanking you for your support over the course of the year. I'm thinking about doing a sort of year in review theme for next month's podcast, and if I do that, I'll talk about the transformational nature of 2018. Some of the events from early in 2018 really opened the door to a lot of variety and positivity on the channel that had been missing. I'll be developing that idea probably over the next month and make a decision by then. If you've been watching, you know that I opened a Patreon page in September, and it's December now, so that means I'm due to ship out some coffee mugs to the train crew members who signed up to support at $5 or more when it started. And I want to take this chance to thank everyone who's supporting my efforts on Patreon and to invite those of you who haven't signed up to do so. I post exclusive updates and even exclusive videos that are for patrons only. And as I continue to figure out how it all works, that'll probably increase over time. Would you like access to exclusive stuff like that? It's pretty cheap to support the channel. I calculated it out, and at $2 a month, it's like 7 cents a day. And $5 a month, it's 17 cents. And at $10 a month, it's still only 33 cents a day. You can't even buy a candy bar for that much, you know? Anyway, we'll be figuring out that whole mug thing, and I'll get them out sometime this month. And you know, I might need to place a special order for them, so be patient, but they are coming. I have some stuff to talk about that happened over the past month or so let's get to that. So remember I mentioned last time about going to the Fern Creek in Western for Halloween? Well, I did go, and it was quite a lot of fun. That event is really more of a Halloween event and not so much a train event, but I did take some photos and video from that day, so let's take a look. What are you doing there, Paul?
I'm filling up all the fog machines with special Froggys fog fluid.
Freezing fog juice.
Yeah.
Low-lying outdoor ground fog.
We're
perfect
not sponsored, but if they want to,
yeah,
they could.
This is pretty scary.
Yeah, it'll be scary.
We're gonna have a look around here and see what's so scary about what's happening here today.
Okay.
This guy looks kind of like me.
When John hasn't had his coffee.
That's me before my coffee in the morning.
Yeah. It's an accurate model.
Are you the scary dog, Bingo? You don't look very scary. What happened?
He didn't close the lid to the fog machine juice cap all the way.
Did you get fog juice all over yourself?
Yes, I did.
That's why you don't pick things up without asking. Come on. I was still working on it.
All right.
We used to do Halloween at my house over in Aptos, and I was dressed up as a black cloaked figure of the night, and I jumped out at someone from the bushes, but it wasn't an adult or a teenager. It was a little 5-year-old in a Batman costume, and I made him cry. My dad was really angry.
How old were you when you did that?
Probably like 13, 10, I don't know.
No wonder you like doing this. You really do like scaring kids. Why are you putting that back in the bottle? That's a weird thing to do. What happened?
I don't like the color of it.
That's a bubble fogger. It injects fog into bubbles. And the bubble juice is supposed to go in the front where the bubble wand is, and the fog juice is supposed to go in the back where the fog machine is.
Oh, you would think that they label that or something.
Oh, but the funny thing is, John, they do label that. And he put bubble juice where the fog juice is supposed to go.
What? Now how
Look
did
at this. No.
How did he do that?
Well, there's even a label on the...
I don't see any label here.
On the lid, huh?
Oh, but there's a cap, and see, he's holding it, and it's got a label.
Well, the cap's right here.
What's in your hand? No, the other hand. No, the other hand. Yeah, right.
It stays nice and low. What do you like about it?
Wow, that really does stay on the ground. That looks great.
Yeah.
Now you're running the train, now you're really happy.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just starting to monitor fog machines and things and just trying to keep everything running. But people are showing up, so we have to kind of look like we're actually ready now.
People watching probably are wondering, why are you doing this? What's the purpose of doing this when this is supposed to be a railroad, right?
Well, Paul and I have always had a passion for Halloween. And lighting and fog machines and stuff in general. But Paul and I used to do Halloween at his house for years and years and years. We never got many trick-or-treaters there, maybe 40 at most. So once we met Eric, eventually we thought, well, maybe we should do it at Eric's, and Eric agreed to it. And so we started doing Halloween over at Eric's now. And,
so Eric's regretted it ever since?
Eric's regretted it ever since, but Eric thankfully was the one that set most of it up this year, not me. I've been off at college in Oregon, so I just flew down just last night, and I'm helping them, actually perform the evening, get everything going, and then take down. But Eric set most of it up, and so did Paul. So I owe them a big debt of gratitude for doing that.
So what kind of stuff is running here? You got a whole bunch of fog, right?
We have 8 fog machines going, nearly 40 strobe lights, a bunch of animatronics, over 10 animatronic pieces going. We have the Fern Creek and Western number 10 running with some cars that light up, and we got things on the roof, we got things on the street, we got the entire yard as a graveyard. It's really quite something. And we get nearly 700 to 800 trick-or-treaters in a night through here. So it not only exposes them to the railroad, but it also is a nice way to give back to the community.
I haven't seen a Halloween street like this in a long time.
Yeah, no, there's gotta be the better part of like 200 people in this area right now. Like, there's a sea of people that way and a sea of people that way. It's absolutely insane. This is our busiest Halloween we've ever had. Usually we get like 600 to 700, maybe 800 trick-or-treaters. I'm thinking this is going to be close to a thousand person year. Through the Fern Creek and Western, 1,000 people in a period of 3 hours. That's pretty impressive. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I really have never seen a street this busy. This is crazy.
I told you it's like absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
you weren't exaggerating at all.
No.
I mean, this is nuts.
I think I was underplaying it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like standing room only in the line up to the
Yeah. We
up
haven't
to the
moved
porch.
from the fence in a half hour because we can't move from the fence. We're stuck here.
That same Saturday, my top secret volunteer and I worked the South Bay Historical Railroad Society's Fall Open House. We went early on Saturday and made 4 short videos about the event for the channel here, and the idea behind it was to show people what the event was like so that they'd want to go to it. And I was really excited to hear from John Wiley that someone mentioned specifically that they saw the video on TSG Multimedia's YouTube channel when they went on Sunday because of it. So that was really cool to hear, and as usual, it was a great event. You can take a look at the videos later if you'd like to see what you missed. The good news is there's going to be another open house in April, so if you missed this one, you don't have to wait too long for the next one. The following Tuesday, I met up with Piyush from Locofi to talk about a video that I'm working on now that's about installing one of his modules into an HO scale model. I'll talk about that a little bit more during the upcoming show part. On the 10th, I went with my top secret layout inspector to see a layout I've been hearing about for years. It's been on my short list of layouts to see and possibly document on the channel for quite a while now, but I never knew anyone who was involved there. That changed, though, when a guy named Larry Price contacted me on Facebook asking about doing a layout tour there. The layout I'm talking about is actually 3 layouts in a pretty large building in Richmond. It's called the Golden State Model Railroad Museum. They have N scale, HO scale, and O scale all under one roof. The layouts are pretty well done, and it turns out I did know someone involved there, but I just didn't realize it. Anyway, that's something that will most likely be produced in the first quarter of 2019. We'll do 3 separate layout tours there, and because of the scope of the place and because of the history of the organization, you might hear a little bit more about it here on the channel either before or after those layout tours come out. I want to thank Larry, Dave Roth, Jeff Rowe, and Jeff Robinson for their hospitality and for opening up the building on a day when it's normally not open to the public. On November 13th, I went to a private layout owned by Ed Loizeaux. You may have heard of this one, and I'm pretty sure it's been in magazines, and I know for sure that it has been on TV. It was really neat to meet Ed, who's an interesting guy anyway, but the layout is S-scale and it depicts New York Central during the transition era. It's really well done, and the operational aspects of the layout are very well thought out. Something tells me that Ed's going to prepare a lot for the eventual layout tour, so I'm sure that it's going to be really good. This is one to look forward to in 2019. Thanks so much for taking the time to show me around the layout, Ed. I really enjoyed the visit, and I can't wait for the video. It's going to be a lot of fun, but more importantly, it is going to turn out really great. So, it was my birthday on November 15th, and I celebrated it by doing as little as I could possibly do. It's impossible to get completely away from it because a lot of my personal life is wrapped up with TSG stuff. I'm not complaining about that, just saying that personal and business are very intertwined, and even when I go out to do stuff with friends, it's almost always with a camera in my hand because you never know what might happen or where you'll end up. One thing that's kind of related to YouTube is that I got a couple of video games for my birthday. I mention it because I did a game review for Channel 2 about one of them, and it came out today. So if you're into that kind of thing, take a look when you're done here at Channel 2. Video game reviews are pretty time consuming because you have to play the game a bit before you can comment about it. So this made me realize how little time I have for that kind of thing. And you know, the reviews posted for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I also got Fallout 76, and I want to do a review of that too, but I haven't even had time to open the package yet, let alone play it. On Saturday of that same week, my friends Gary and Hunter came over for the Chasing Trains premiere event. We did a live webcast immediately following the premiere, and it was a lot of fun. I finally got to talk about all the different ways of supporting the channel that I could think of, which was something that I've been trying to do for months but never got around to. I especially wanted to cover all the things that viewers can do to support the channel, but also that don't cost any money. So if you missed the live webcast, please take a minute to watch it, if only for that. We also talked about how important Thomas the Tank Engine is as a bridge to the future of the hobby, because it creates a very strong interest in trains in children. Backing up for a second here, speaking of premieres, I'm wondering if you think that we should schedule more video premieres like that. In case you don't know, the premiere feature on YouTube is kind of a new thing that lets us chat live in a text window while the video is playing for the first time. Let's do a quick impromptu poll here. Should we have more premieres? The answers will be yes, no, and other. Let me know what you think by responding to the poll in the upper right corner of the screen. Anyway, I want to thank Gary and Hunter for taking the time to make sure that my birthday did not go uncelebrated. It was our pleasure to have you guys here that day, and thank you so much. That's from the top secret birthday person as well. On November 19th, my friend Kevin Hill came to the TSG Intergalactic headquarters to make a special video all about cleaning and maintaining post-war American Flyer trains. That video is coming out today at 10 a.m. American Flyer is a bit different from the typical scale models featured on this channel, but it's still cool stuff, and a lot of people are really into that kind of thing. Kevin's very knowledgeable about it, and he's good at explaining things, so it's a really good video. There's a lot of great information and some tips and tricks that could save you a lot of money and time. Huge thanks for Kevin for suggesting the topic and coming through with a really great program on it. I'd really like to see that one go big so that we can do more in the series. I called it Toy Trains 101 in anticipation of doing more in the future. So, on the 24th, I went to the Great Train Show in Richmond with Kevin and our mutual friend CJ Vargas and his dad Carl. That was a really great time. Not only did we get to see a boatload of train stuff at the show, but I also saw dozens of people I know there. To make matters even better, I also got to meet several viewers for the first time, including a TSG train crew member. That was a real highlight. I always enjoy meeting viewers, and nothing's better than meeting or seeing train crew members. Since we were there, and since they were open because the train show was in town, we also popped in at the Golden State Model Railroad Museum that I mentioned a minute ago, and I put a short video of the day together. Let's take a quick look. What are you doing here, man?
Well, we're not chasing trains.
Aren't we, though?
That I know about.
Aren't we, though?
Maybe we are. We might see a train.
Yeah.
Then we'll chase it.
The last time we did something, we didn't think we were going to do anything, and then we ended up doing everything.
Yeah, that's true. So, anyway.
What's the real plan?
Well, we're going to go to the Great Train Show in Richmond.
Yeah?
We're going to try not to get shot. John says the area is nice, so okay.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the freeway, so it shouldn't be too bad.
We're all right.
Yeah.
If I come out with more holes, it's your fault.
You got some holes, all right. What?
Welcome to your first TSG video.
Yeah. And this is CJ. Now, we don't really know what we're doing today, so why don't you come over here and tell us what you think we're doing today?
Probably gonna go spend a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Is that your plan?
That's my plan.
Gonna spend money?
Gonna spend money.
Yeah.
I learned this trick last time.
Bring a bag?
Yeah, bring a bag, because otherwise you're gonna walk around with a bunch
You're
of...
carrying a purse?
Yeah.
Get your sack, let's go.
All right.
I think Kevin's getting excited foaming here.
Getting moist.
We're on camera again.
It's a train, Kevin.
Yeah, we're chasing trains.
Okay.
The internet's killing everything. I saw you back there.
You never know who
back there with Kevin.
You never know who you'll run into at these things. One really nice thing going on today is that the smoke is gone. This is being filmed on a day when recently there were a bunch of wildfires in the state and it rained over the past few days, so the smoke is gone. And when I say the smoke is gone, you'd have a hard time seeing that building across the way there. That's how bad it was.
I was just made fun of because I said this engine had 2 drivers. I always say that they have
like
very
my one friend was
low
like,
standards in these places.
The tax woman has to say married. I'm not married.
They let anybody in here.
Oh man, are we on TV again?
You might end up on TV again.
Oh, this is another one of those crap. John needs a program and has to put this together, but we'll probably leave this on the cutting room floor now because I said that.
Well, no, actually, that would be the kind of thing I would put in.
But I just noticed a crack in his lens there.
Oh yeah, maybe I should look it for him. You know,
there's a crack. There's a crack, all right. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh no, his shirt's tucked in. Come on.
This is someone else that you never know who they'll run into. Pat LaTorres, right? I've seen Pat, I think, everywhere.
Every opposite thing I've done, Pat's been at, and every time we go have beers afterwards, Pat's there.
I didn't see San Diego at the end of the month.
No, well, I haven't gotten invited to that.
Oh, did you go to La Mesa?
Oh yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Did my 30 hours.
8 hours or whatever, per shift.
12 hours Saturday, 12 hours Sunday, and about 5 hours on Friday.
Was Jason Hill there?
No, he was at the SPH&TS convention.
Oh, Monterey.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I said it looks like a loaf of bread that you're carrying there. It looks like you went to the market.
Yeah, I got my loaf of bread here. No, this is the. This completes my collection of the 3 different styles of Pacific that American Flyer made.
Yeah.
They made 3 different styles in their post-war years. So now I've completed that collection. Now I have to collect all the different variations of those 3 versions of the Pacific.
Then you're going to need some extras for parts for when those break down, probably, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll probably need to get the 3-digit and the 5-digit versions of it.
Yep.
Yeah. What is this, a 3-digit or a 5-digit?
This is a 3-digit.
Okay. So it's one of the older ones then.
Yep.
See, I actually learned something. It's like I know what I'm talking about almost.
Yeah, it's actually in excellent cosmetic condition. So we'll see. We'll see what how it operates mechanically, but if it doesn't run,
if it doesn't run, I know there's a video. Yeah, there's a video about that. Yeah. If it doesn't run, you can go on. What channel is that on? TSG CBS. CG. Yeah, CGI.
CGI.
Something about making your American Flyer trains run.
Yep.
The other is actually the other side where you look here, you can actually see the church.
Markland, John, but it's not the Markland we're looking for.
Is the wrong scale?
Yeah.
What are you looking at there?
So this is kind of neat right here at the American Flyer layout. They have some all-aboard panels, which are panels that American Flyer sold back in the post-war era. That you'd buy the panels and put them together in any fashion that you wanted, and you get a little layout on it.
So they're kind of like modular pieces. You just put them together.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Coming soon to a TSG channel near you.
So I'm guessing, is this going to be 3 separate visits, or are you going to pull a La Mesa where you're just here for 12 hours?
Robinson, get me out of the picture, man. No, I believe this is going to be at least 2 days in a row shoot.
Well, we were talking about the time I learned that Dennis doesn't wear underwear.
Dennis who?
At the train shop. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen him do it lately, but he used to wear suspenders all the time. I don't know, maybe you remember. He wore suspenders, and the pants would always be loose a little bit. Well, one day he bent over to pick up a box that had my locomotive in it, and his pants didn't go with him. And his ass was all the way out. I said, well, there it is.
The full moon.
The full moon. He's gonna whistle for the crossing over there too.
Is he waiting for color?
No, he's got it clear.
Yeah, he's a high green on the left side there. See it? Now it's red. After his head end passed it.
He knocked it down.
So that's the extent of what I've been up to. If you've been watching this year, you know, that's really not much compared to the rest of the months. December's shaping up to be fairly low-key as well. I'm planning to go to the San Leandro Historical Railway Society's open house later today or probably tomorrow. There's also a holiday party at Ardenwood for the Society of the Preservation of Carter Railroad Resources. That's something else I will be going to. I'll be working on this month's Model Railroading with Jack Burgess episode. It's also pretty likely that I'll go ride Roaring Camp's Holiday Lights train at some point as well. And that's kind of what's planned at the moment. Undoubtedly more things will come up. They always do. And, I have a hard time saying no to most anything, especially train-related stuff. So let's talk about some of the events going on around the Bay Area real quick here. Today and tomorrow, I mentioned this a second ago, the San Leandro Historical Railway Society is having their open house and train show event. They're located in Thrasher Park near the corner of Orchard and Davis in San Leandro. You can get more information at slhrs.org. On December 8th and 9th, the CMRS and CTOM in Crockett are having their joint open house. Just to be clear, that's not an open house with joints. They're putting on their open houses concurrently because they occupy the same building. That's better. You can check the CMRS or CTOM websites for more info. That's cmrstrainclub.org or ctom.org. In Santa Cruz, the Museum of Art and History's 13th annual Toy Train Show runs between December 21st through January 6th. The museum opens at 10 a.m. with the exception of Christmas Day and New Year's Day when they're closed. I put a link that goes directly to the museum in this video's description below, so you can click on that if you'd like more information about the event. I have someone scheduled to come and talk about this event on a live webcast later this month. More about that in just a minute. I want to take a second to mention that there's probably a museum or some other form of heritage railroad in your area that's doing something special for the holidays. A simple Google search should be enough to find out what's happening where you live. So go out and support them. Now for this month's YouTube schedule. I mentioned this earlier. Today, following this podcast at 10 a.m., it's the first ever episode of Toy Trains 101, all about American Flyer. On December 8th at 8 a.m., it's the Union Pacific Oakland sub with Seth Newman. This is an HO scale layout tour, and it's a really good one. On that same day at 9 a.m., we have the return of John's Models. In this episode, I'll be installing a Loco-Fi module into an HO scale SD70 Ace. That should be fun since I haven't had time to do much work on models over the past few months. I just hope I remember how to solder wires, otherwise it's going to be a long video. On December 15th at 9 a.m., it's an evening with Owl Mountain Models. You might recall Jason Hill had a couple shows about his wood loads a month or two ago. He also hosted the La Mesa Club Layout Tour in 2016. The Manufacturers Roundtable series at the SBHRS is a chance for people to meet and learn about manufacturers in the industry. In this program, Jason talks about his approach to modeling as well as his approaches to research and manufacturing. Later on this same day at 11 a.m., it's the TSG Live Webcast. I've invited our friends from the Fern Creek and Western to talk about the toy train show going on at the Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History because it's where they met. This should be an interesting webcast. On December 22nd, it's Model Railroading with Jack Burgess. In this episode, Jack will introduce us to working with styrene. There should be some great info in this one, so you won't want to miss it. Then finally, on December 29th, it's the annual Steam Special featuring the Nevada Northern Railway. This program is probably going to take up most of my production time this month, but it should be a really great one. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone for your continued support and wish you the best holidays possible, regardless of what you celebrate or even if you don't celebrate at all. I'd also like to ask, if you can, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon. Your support will ensure that I can continue to bring the kind of content that you like to the world, and you'll get some other cool stuff as my thanks to you. It can be as cheap as 7 cents a day, so I don't think I'm asking for too much. With your help, we can make 2019 even better than 2018, and we set out to do the same thing with 2018, and I'd say we hit it out of the park. I'll see you next time. Thanks again.